We could begin with the highest good for all. An energy of healing. Messages most important at this time. We will be working with the energy of the hunter. I'm told. We do have the hunter here. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Venom. What is the third card, please? For the center of this reading, thank you. We do have the Bridge. For some, you may need to know that the sustainer card is at the bottom of the deck. So there is something that is sustaining your life force, even through a difficult time. We will clarify each of these energies as we go. This is what we see as the current situation. How one can balance going from to bridge the connection to what you want. We often have to go through a difficult, as we see in the Hunter card. Wanting to go forth towards something also means that you may have to go through a period of challenge, of struggle, and of difficulties. Very often people say it is that which we work hardest for that we are the most rewarded for, and we are made strongest through. And it does appear that there is, and this venom I am feeling is verbal venom. There is energetic there, but I don't think this is not coming across as profoundly an energetic force, but the resonance of things that have been spoken, things that may need to be said, what may be said against you for going after this. And being able to bridge to that other side. The hunter at some point must make the leap. I'm told more information will be revealed about this later, but we need to go into the rest of the spread at this time. We'll use the Pocket Oracle for this. There's a card that wants to linger behind. There is an importance to that. Let us see what those are. I'll place that. We do have the Nine of Swords in reverse that wants to linger. And I feel like this is, no, I don't want to face the challenges. I don't want to face my fears. There's a necessity now to face those fears, which can be daunting. And clearly with this combination of cards, one could understand why that seems to be daunting. And a desire to rather rest and let's just ignore that. Do I have to go and do that? So let's see some of what has led to this state that has been a challenge in the past for you. Could you please give a clear card so we can have a clarifier for that? I am going to take past strengths that one can use at this time. That's strengths. And we do have at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Wands, or the Eight of Pentacles, which is your ability to work hard. There is an ability to create a web to draw in what you want. There is an ability to work your way out of webs that others have tried to entangle you into. Set those aside. We'll take a look first. We have for past challenges bringing to this moment a Ten of Swords in reverse. So there is something painful that has not reached its conclusion. And I think this is where we're looking at the bridge, is wanting to get over to the other side of this. And yet there's a desire to sleep, to rest in this Nine of Swords energy and not move into the 10. There is a lot of confusion about which option is going to be the best option. And we do have the Daughter of Cups. And in this, I'm just seeing it's like it's there. It's like a shadow behind. And there's almost a sense of having to choose a different cup, even though you've worked so hard to fill one that you've had, or you've been juggling to fill many. There's one that needs to be left behind, and it's very difficult to do so. So there is something that cannot be brought into the future with you if you are going to make it to the bridge, to the other side, to where you're past this Venom. Now, in the strengths, looking back, it's interesting that you have the Five of Pentacles. So you've been able to survive illnesses, struggles, being left out in the cold. You've been able to deal with being shunned before. You've dealt with situations with this Ten of Cups in reverse that have turned your happiness upside down. And yet you still know this Ace of Wands. You still have the ability to know where your passion is and to see it as a light forward for you. And that is a strength to remain, even with the Five of Pentacles, that left out in the cold, that despair, that sorrow, illness, and the Ten of Cups upside down, the joy just not being there. To be able to still see your passion, your dream, your beauty, some kind of hope, light, and desire that is for your highest good, and to still be reaching and trying to get to it is an incredible strength. And as I said that, I am reminded we did have in the case of the deck that didn't want to come out, kind of a secret thing that perhaps you may be hiding from people, is that you kind of just want to get some rest and not fight it anymore. Not put this hunter, this full horse charging towards your dreams into action. There may need to be a period of rest to regain your strength. And as I said that, I'm hearing, no, the longer you rest, the weaker you'll become. So take that as it resonates. I mean, clearly we do go through times where we do need rest, and self-care is spiritual care, and it is the best way we can not only take care of ourselves, but also care for bringing our gifts into the world. We don't want to deplete our energy, empty our cups. So some of you may need to take that rest. Some of you need to do things in spurts also. Now let's look at a possible direction to go that may not really get you where you want to go, that can hold you back, hinder you, or keep you in this kind of trying to fight through the venom, or just wanting to rest, period. Let's take a look at that. 3 cards, please. Throw one more card, please. Thank you. And we're also going to take a look at a path, thought process, way of action that will assist you. 3 cards, please. One more card, please. I think we may need a clarifier. At the bottom of the deck, we do have yes, this is definitely a separate message that needs to come out for some here. We have another message there. Let us start down here. And I will ask for some guidance with these cards, if you may. It seems it's very interesting because the path that may be one that holds you back and drags out this process kind of looks like the best thing on the table right now on the options of moving forward. I mean, here we have the 9 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and the 4 of Swords in reverse. So, I mean, it's like, you know, your independence, you're chasing after your cup, you're full of energy. I'm curious as to why that came in the path that may not get you where you need to go. And then up here where we were looking at one that may help you get to that path that you want to achieve. Oh my gosh, this is actually the 9 of Wands. I always forget this is the 9 of Wands here. Not wanting to push on. It's still the same message. Not wanting to fight, not wanting to have this energy. But here we have the 9 of Swords, the anxieties and the worries. And we have the 2 of Swords, which is an uncrossing of the heart, a removing of the blindfold. And then we have the Magician in reverse. And with this, I'm seeing and hearing, this is seeing how magic was turned upside down against you. The misuse of power. I believe that is the message there. Is very much, you know, to face the fears, to unblindfold yourself, to open your heart and your third eye, your vision, your sight, to see how others have misused the magic. What have you been taught that may have caused you to see misuses of the energy of the gift of spirit? That, is there a clarifier that we can get for that? Something to clarify there, please. That's a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I mean, we have a reverse again. Justice in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse. The 8 of Swords in reverse. And the Father of Cups in reverse. Now, this is seeing, you know, all of these are a lot of lies. These were a lot of lies around you. The Father of Cups is the authority figure, having the Hierophant energy that, oh, we're the wise one, we know everything. This is the just way to do things. Just sort of drink your poison that we're giving you, and it's not poison. No, that's the medicine. And please do not take that as a suggestion against. I'm using medicine as a metaphor in this, not a statement about whether or not what medications you're on are good or bad that you need to discuss with your doctor. But, you know, it's like really this Magician in reverse, finding out the lies that were taught, that you just sort of have to you know, drink sour milk and it's good for you or something like that. It's just metaphorically that whole lie, realizing those lies can set you free. And that's, I think we're talking with this Venom, is this idea that no, the Venom isn't poisonous. No, the Venom's good for you. No, the Venom is making you want to sleep, want to rest, want not be, it's what causes this anxiety and frustration. So there's a lot of taking the blindfolds off and seeing where those who state they know more than you, and especially in spiritual terms, but also random people who think they're better than others, we're all on an equal plane. We're all learning, and another's truth and what's best for them, well, that might be their path, but that doesn't mean it needs to be yours. And it certainly doesn't mean other people's path is the right path for you. So that venom can be, for some of you, people who have taught you a pathway that just is not appropriate for you, and it's not where your highest good would lead you. And this bridge seems to be the idea of getting over to where you are on the path that is right for you. Now, I will step back down here, as we've said that. Here it is, the Nine of Pentacles. The ego could fill your cup and kind of put the spirit and the soul healing to sleep. So there are people who may talk you up and say, here, do this, that, and the other thing, and you're going to be like fantastic. You're going to be doing great. You're going to have that Ace of Cups, that like wish fulfillment and everything. This is your great opportunity for passion, for love, for all kinds of great, emotional enjoyment. But it's a feeding of the ego. What is an ego feed? Because the ego actually likes the venom. It tastes good to the ego. The problem is the venom is poison to the spirit. So that, I think, when we look at what we just saw in a wiser pathway, that will help you get to where you want to go and where your higher self is trying to get you, realizing those things that feed the ego, that the ego thinks is divine wine, the spirit knows is rotten milk. Okay? And it kind of puts the spiritual growth to a rest. So that's something to pay attention to. We also had a different group of cards come out here, and we did have Temperance in reverse with the Devil, and we had the Two of Pentacles. And you can't balance healing while you still keep the devil energy around, in whatever form that is. You can't keep drinking what the ego thinks is wine and think that the healing is going to come and you'll feel balanced spiritually. You can't keep following the lies and buying into the lies and not looking for your own truth. You're still staying in this venom energy. You can't balance the venom with healing. You've got to leap and make that jump. You've got to bridge to the other side of it and see the space between. You've got to take that leap. Otherwise, this venom is still going to harm you. For those of you who thought you could kind of stay 1 foot in, 1 foot out and didn't have to make the great leap, this is kind of telling you, you can't have both. It's going to be one or the other. You're either going to stay in this devil energy and drinking the venom and not healing, or you're going to have to turn it this way and you're going to have to release this, jump over it. The horses can take great leaps, great jumps, and powerful leaps to be able to cross that bridge. That does, it exists in an energetic way. So this is not a physical move. That does not exclude. Some of you may need a physical move, but right now we're looking at just an energetic leap. But if you take this and put that away, as we're seeing done in that potential path, then you can bring in the healing and the temperance, and you can feel balanced. And you'll also be able to know where's the, true poison, where is the venom, what is the venom, and what is the truly divine, So I'm starting to lose the message there, and I feel like I'm just repeating myself. There's a lot of repetition in the cards. I take that as confirmation. What is this? Oh my goodness. I read the card wrong again. The funny thing is with this deck is I confuse which cards are which, and that fits so sharply with this message. That's exactly what it's talking about, like the Justice in reverse, the Higher in reverse. Like this I thought was the Nine of Swords. It's actually the Nine of Wands. And here when I was doing it, this is actually the Seven of Swords, the Thief card. And here I only got corrected because I picked up and I looked at the bottom of the deck, and here's actually the Four of Swords. The rest, the wisdom. You can rest peacefully knowing the truth. Very interesting that I couldn't even catch it because I thought this is, oh, you don't need any rest. You'll have tons of energy. Look at how, like, even in the reading, it came out with that sense of, oh, something was being stolen. There's some, like, clever, sly, sneaky energy going on there, right? And I got tricked just visually looking at the card, doing it too, until this came out to show me. And with that is that peace, that knowing. It's a very important piece of the puzzle there. It's very interesting how that came out in the reading, the way I saw the cards. Like I said, I do not mind repetitions because they are confirmations. I do feel like we can take a little, I'm going to go to a different deck right now just to see, is there anything that could help identify what is this Venom? I just want to see, I'm thinking 3 cards, please. Because they're going to be different for everyone, so I feel like, okay, this one's a little bit sneaky and hidden in there, and I'm being told to look at the bottom. Okay, so one of them is the Muse. So if something sounds too good to be true, somebody's like, very smooth talking and everything's this and everything's that, and they know it all, and you're going to be fine. If they promise more, then a human being can really deliver. That may be one to be cautious of. This was a little hidden in the deck, so this might be a little sneaky. We do have the forgotten, missed opportunities, fear of failure. And this, I feel like, is some of you, that Venom, as we were talking before, for some, the energy is gone. It's just the lingering words. So for some of you, especially the way this was tucked into the deck and I had to pull it out, this is, what you would typically be called in the shadow self. So think about what the old tapes, you may have forgotten the person who originally, taught you to know those words and berate yourself, and kind of the toxic talk that we give to ourselves, we've generally heard from other people who we may not even remember. It could have been a teacher we don't even remember when we were kids in school. So for some of you, that is a place to look for where this Venom is, so that you can, face the fear of it and tackle it on and get to your truth. And the other one is the Enchanter, deception and trickery. There's another card at the bottom of the deck that almost looks like the same, the Orator, communication and confidence. I hate to say this in a reading online. For some of you, if the promises are too true, too good to be true, they are too good to be true. the Enchanter. If you're finding yourself addicted with this devil energy to a particular, gotta watch that person's new reading every day to get everything, you may want to just branch out and kind of check other readers for a moment. Might be dealing with a little bit of spiritual narcissism with someone. So, and that's that's what I'm getting from this. And that card just fell off the deck. All right, I gotta go pick that up because I feel like that's important that fell off as we discussed the spiritual narcissism. And I'm hearing spiritual narcolepsy with this 9 of Wands. It's in reverse here, okay? Your ability to fight off some of what's being, continue your spiritual fight. It's almost like your spiritual fighting strength was put to sleep by someone who's making all of these promises and these smooth talking communications, and I just want to see hiding the truth about what's going on, just to make everything sound like it's all going to be good, it's all going to be great, everything's fine. And just be cautious of that. Be cautious if you're becoming really dependent on someone who keeps promising, it's all other people's fault and you're in the right and they're going to get their karma and that kind of stuff. Don't worry about other people. I mean, the only person you can do anything about is yourself. So take care of you. And, if you find yourself constantly looking for readings so that you could figure out what's going on with other people, it's time to check in with yourself. Definitely time to check in with yourself. And it's not an insult. That's, nothing in here is ever an insult because we're all human and we all do these things at some point in our lives. We all go through our phases, but there is an importance of that. And with that, I want to show you the card underneath. Right underneath this, as I was saying, we all do that. Look, the cards are even saying there is no judgment on you. If you feel like, oh yeah, I've been doing something, or, why am I still listening to the old tapes and I can't even remember the teacher who was an ass and told me I was terrible, and now I tell myself, do not beat yourself up. This is, in no way is this meant to beat you up. This is just to make sure you're aware that there is, a poison that you're taking. Either you're telling yourself, you're ingesting through what you're consuming, energetically or just verbally, or the, programs you're watching, things like that, who you're trusting, are they really trustworthy? Make your judgment calls, but don't judge yourself if you find out, oh my gosh, I believed in something and it's like total bullshit. Don't judge yourself on that. I believed that I was this horrible person because this other person told me, and I was like, you know what, then I need to change that. Like, that other person's gone. They haven't thought of me in 20 years and here I am still repeating their stuff. So don't worry about the other person. You just make a judgment call on the venom and call it for what it is, and then make adjustments accordingly to set yourself free from that, so that you don't have to, keep ingesting that. And there's no judgment on you for having gone through a phase. We have all consumed venom. We have all consumed it. We have all fed it to ourselves in our own mind. It's something we do in life. That's a part of being human. And if you've never done it, you're probably lying to yourself. If you say you never did that, you're lying to yourself, by the way, if you say that, because we all have. We've all told ourselves something that was not true. So there's no judgment on you on that. And there's no need to judge where it's coming from or the people who you might be getting the venom from. Just let them deal with what they're doing. That's their thing. You go find your thing and just be happy in your own place. Okay, so that I feel like was a bit helpful. I feel like I just lost a couple of cards. What the heck? Did I lose the cards? I just stuck these suckers back under the deck and put it down over here. And I was like, yeah. So for those of you who need to get rid of those outside people who are currently inside, you know, feeding you this venom, just put them aside for a little while, okay? That, let's see. We should really get something to, you know, say going forward from here. Any last bit of advice? I'm going to use the Wisdom Oracle. I'm going to ask for something to come through that will be helpful for the highest good of all. Even though I have not got a great connection with this, let's see if we can find something that would be helpful. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see what we have. Flexibility. Okay. Now, with the flexibility card, the number 19 might be important to some of you. There's a lot of variance on how this can be on, you know, flexible in your thinking. For some of you with the old thoughts that you kind of like are feeding yourself, those venomous thoughts and negative thoughts about yourself, it takes a lot of mental flexibility to start retraining. And in that process, do not judge yourself. It is a long process to get rid of some of those tapes. It's hard to just make them instantly go away. We usually have to work on them for a while. And they usually involve us taking actions, and it takes some time. So have some flexibility. This is also, for some of you, the flexibility may be starting to look at different places, getting at different sources of input, different sources of information, talking to new people, and just basically gathering a bunch of different information before you make the judgment of what is true for you. So some flexibility is there. And I think it's also, you know, just coming through for my guys is that, like, you have some flexibility. No one's really expecting you to do this perfectly and instantaneously. It's a process. So you may find yourself kind of moving forward, moving back, and it's okay. No one's expecting you to get it perfect. No one's expecting you to get through the venom and make this leap instantaneously. The figuring out what the venom is going to take some time, but once you do, you're going to make the leap pretty easy. And you have the flexibility to get up there and get from one side to the other. But it might take a little bit of weaving around to figure out this maze that you may be trapped in with the Venom card. So understand that not everything happens overnight, and be flexible, be non-judgmental with yourself. Don't be casting, or should stay away from words like don't and shouldn't, but, you know, when we cast judgments on others, we're kind of casting judgment on ourselves. So it's really good to avoid judgment and just simply say, you know what, that's not for me, but if it's for them, let them keep it there. I don't have to take it with me. You know what, that's not for me, so I'm not going to take that home with me. But, oh, I found this thing over here that does fit true with me. So I'm going to take that home with me, and I'm going to leave behind the stuff that isn't true to my calling and to my higher self. Okay, so that's all for this reading, and we'll see you again another time, and I wish you lots of comfort and love in this journey, and give yourself plenty of comfort and love in this. It is a journey. So some of you may be just getting there. Some of you might know you're there. Some of you might be a little further on. But any of you who've watched this long know that this is a difficult one and it takes time to do. And there's plenty of room for you to be flexible enough to give yourself some little comforts and quiet time and a lot of self-love.